What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Sports Grind Specialty Show. My name is Tyler Wargo.
And I'm Mickey Parrella.
And we are back after 7 months of not airing here at Spec Show. And we are finally back. And I told Mickey earlier this year, I'm like, we have to go back.
We have to. We have to come back.
We have to go back. And so that's exactly what we did. We are back here. And well, there's not really a seasons nor the really episodes that we're going by. It's going to be strictly just the specialty show, which is going to be about sports between you and me that we can discuss, and about our years. As we know, it's been such a long time. Literally, this is my first time seeing Mickey since I got back from Arizona. And as for him, for University of Hartford, which is where you're at now.
Yeah, it's
and we're
crazy.
going to get into just how our years have been leading up to the end of the show. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So starting off, let's talk about sports. Shohei Ohtani recently is on the Dodgers, and before I spill out my joy and my excitement, I want you to go first and tell me, what is your thoughts on Ohtani going on the Dodgers?
Well, Ohtani on the Dodgers is a huge, huge move for multiple reasons. Let's start with the ability stuff, like on the field stuff. He is great on pitching and hitting. Obviously, he's not going to be pitching a lot next season because he underwent Tommy John surgery, so he probably won't be pitching at all next year. But he will be hitting because he is a great, great designated hitter. I mean, he hit over 344 home runs last year. Just an absolute killer as a hitter, and that's even without his pitching. Now, with his pitching, if he can get back to that starting in 2025, he's going to be great. Just how he was with the Angels, he'll do that with the Dodgers. And then better yet, the amount of fans that the Dodgers are going to bring in. Not only do they have Ohtani and Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman, they have a huge following because of, the Asian fan. Because with Shohei Ohtani, with his huge popularity in Japan, I mean, all those fans that were rooting for him on the Angels are going to come over to the Dodgers, right. And it's going to bring the popularity of the Dodgers up, and it's going to be a great team to watch.
And look at the advertisements, too. I mean, the advertisements that they were doing in Anaheim at the Angel Stadium, all the Japanese, the different Bandai Namco, the cool advertisement, the brands that were all there because of, the Japanese star Shohei Ohtani. And now seeing him move to LA and the Dodgers are going to get looked at a lot more. I mean, the 10-year contract, too. I mean, it really does. It's not the greatest, the fact that we're not seeing him pitch this year, because we do know him as that two-way player. So he's not being that two-way player that we know him as. He's just going to be a good hitter for the team. But still, think about it. 10 years, he's still going to get a lot of reps in pitching and hitting when the years come. That's not this upcoming season. But
absolutely.
Think about it. That contract, though, I mean, what's your thoughts? I mean, that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, but let's face it, he's worth it. He's the only guy.
I don't think he's worth it.
Really? Well, he's the only.
That's way too much money. I'm a Dodger fan. I'm all for it. Buying your team. A lot of people are not happy at me because of that. People, every time I mention MLB, especially the Dodgers, people are like, oh yeah, at least we don't like a team that buys their team. But you know what? It's like, yeah, we did buy our team, but we had the money to do it. But this much money, that's fake. That's like fake money. It's like, I don't even believe in money anymore, honestly.
Here's the thing.
What is money? I mean,
Yeah, I know, but here's the thing, though. He's the only guy in the league who can pitch as an above-average starting pitcher and hit as an above-average hitter. Nobody in baseball has ever been done that, or at least 100 years since Babe Ruth. He is a generational talent, man, and he is worth it because you need that kind of player on your team, and he's just going to help you this year and the years to come. And when you have that top three of Ohtani and Freeman and Betts and supplement them with guys like Chris Taylor and others, I mean, it's going to be a great show in Los Angeles. It really is.
It really is. I mean, the show is staying in LA. So now if you want to talk about something in sports world in your head, like what's going on, I mean, I know the Knicks. What's going on with them? I mean, anything you want to say? I'm
going to switch it over to the NFL, and I'm going to bring it over to...
Oh, yeah, the Jets.
No, I'm going to bring it over to the Los Angeles Chargers, who fired their head coach today and their GM today. Tom Telesco, their GM, out the door. Head coach Brandon Staley, out the door. Now, the reason is, why did they make that move? Is because they got blown out.
Losing to the Raiders.
Right.
I mean, you could say,
they gave up 60 points to the Raiders. 60 points.
Yeah.
I mean, the Raiders aren't that good.
I'm shocked they actually scored. I mean, the Chargers, I did not think they were going to score at all that game. I mean, the second half came around. They kind of got a little bit above the Raiders in some of the possessions. But, I mean, it was all Raiders from the very beginning. I mean, we saw already 3 touchdowns in just the first quarter. I mean, that's insane.
Yeah, and if you're a defensive head coach like Brandon Staley, you're supposed to have a good defense. Giving up 60 points to a bad Raiders team is not good. Right. He deserved to get fired, and I'm glad that Los Angeles showed him the door because you have an all-world quarterback.
They can't figure it out. They can't figure it out. You move from San Diego to L.A. Okay, no one's going to care enough about the Chargers as much as about the Rams. I mean, you know what I mean? And even over there, you got Vegas, too. Like, everyone's a Raider fan. Like, if you're in California or Nevada, whatever, over there, you're going to be either a Raider fan or a Rams fan, not a Chargers fan.
That is right. But you have one saving grace. You have one, and that's Justin Herbert, your quarterback.
One saving grace.
He is. He's your best player.
Jared Goff?
Not there anymore, man.
Not there.
Not
Again,
there anymore.
Losing another quarterback.
You have Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert is that guy. Now, you got to win with that guy. Because remember, the Chargers for many years had Phillip Rivers, and they didn't win with him. You can't let that happen again with Justin Herbert. He's way too talented.
Phillip Rivers was always he was born a Charger. But like, what? I mean, that ship already sailed. So now who else do they have? Justin Herbert. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's
young.
it.
He's not that old. I'll give you that. But you know what? It takes him getting injured and you using a second, third string quarterback, and then it's over for you guys. I mean, LA Chargers. Might as well be a Rams fan.
Which is why the new GM and the new head coach next year has got to really step it up and get Justin Herbert some actual talent.
Get him reps. You need reps. So, again, we also want to take our attention to, I kind of want to shift gears towards the MLB a little bit because a lot's going on in the trading deadline. I mean, we got more players on the Dodgers. A lot going on over there. What's your thoughts on the Dodgers just making all these moves? I mean, we gave up Ryan Pepiot. I think Ryan Pepiot should have stayed on the Dodgers. But you know what? He's young. He's so young in the league that you can move him around. And that's exactly what they're doing. I mean, if he was old, sure, why would you get rid of him? But he's young. This is the guy that's going to be traveling around the league. So what's your thoughts?
Yeah, the Dodgers, not only did they get Shohei Ohtani, they added a guy in Tyler Glasnow from the Rays. Very talented. He needs to stay.
I wouldn't say he's talented. I mean, I would say that he was talented, not anymore.
I think he's talented. He just needs to stay on the field. That's the thing. If he doesn't stay on the field, what's the point? Yeah. But if he plays, he's going to be good.
I hope he doesn't get hurt.
Now, here's the thing for the Dodgers that we need to keep an eye on, all right? There's this. Remember how last year we were talking about how the Mets were going to go sign that Japanese pitcher, Kodai Senga, and they got him?
Yep.
Well, the Dodgers right now, they're trying to get another Japanese pitcher. And he's more
Yamamoto.
Exactly. And he's even more highly regarded than Senga was. That is a guy that can become an ace.
I think he's going on the Mets.
Soon. Really?
I think he's going on the Mets.
I think he's going to the Dodgers. The Dodgers have money to spend. Yes. I think he's going to the Dodgers or the Yankees, and I think he ended up probably the Dodgers.
I heard Mets. Mets need people. Where are the Mets this offseason? Mickey, you're a Mets fan. Where are the Mets this season? Where are they?
They're not going to win.
Exactly.
I'll be honest. They're not going to win. They don't have enough talent.
I mean, if all these Mets fans are upset, we have all these players, Pete Alonso, we have, Francisco Lindor, all these players. All right, we heard the Mets fans, including you, yap this last season, and now here we are, this upcoming season. I haven't heard anything about them. What are you guys doing? Live under a rock?
We have not really done anything. We kind of signed Luis Severino, who was not good toward the end of his Yankee career.
Yeah, but he is good, though.
He's been good in the past, but recently he's not been good, so we really need him to, come back to life. And they really haven't done all that much. They've tried to sign a guy like starting pitchers. They're trying to go after Yamamoto, as you mentioned, but they have not got it done yet. And if they keep, messing around, the Dodgers are going to come and they're going to sweep him up, and they're going to put Yamamoto in the front of that rotation with Walker Buehler and some other guys.
We're going to have finally a good starting pitching. I mean, honestly, look, getting Shohei Ohtani, okay, that's cool. As long as he can show up in the playoffs, that's fine, because obviously Freeman and Betts, they did not show up in the playoffs again, and we lost again to the Diamondbacks. And, you know what's funny about that, too, before I continue? I want to say that, every playoffs we lose to almost every single team in the NL West. The playoffs I remember a couple years back, it was the Giants. Then 2 years, or a year back, not this past season, but the season before, that was the Padres. Now here they are, Diamondbacks, losing to them. And I actually was at that game, and that was terrible. Matter of fact, I think that will be my story time later about that. But anyway, continuing about Yamamoto, I mean, we are very confident right now as a pitching staff that we would love to see what our players got in terms of getting their reps in spring training, seeing where they place them. It's great. This is something that we have not seen at all this year. We saw a lot from Emmett Sheehan, but other than that, it's like, you know, we can never rely on our pitching staff, and I feel like Yamamoto is going to be a great structure to making us finally confident as fans to see our pitching staff play good.
Absolutely. And one more thing on the Dodgers, the guy to watch to really like separate the Dodgers from being like a good team to a great team is this young starting pitcher. His name is Bobby Miller. Very talented. He needs to break out.
I got the Oklahoma City. Hey, shout out Jake Brown, by the way. He gave me on Up on Deck podcast last week. He gave me Oklahoma City Dodger baseball cards.
That's sick.
For a Secret Santa that we did, and that is on our Spotify Up on Deck. That's on demand. Oh, but yeah, again, like the Oklahoma City Dodgers, just like they have all these good players, but like they just move around so much in the league. So I hope Bobby Miller is that piece.
Yep.
But anyway, that is going to wrap it up for sports. We're now going to take a look at just our year and how it's been. I mean, I already lived in 2 different states already before I came back to Connecticut, Utah, and Arizona. I'll get into that, but first, let's talk about Mickey. How is this year? Because this is the first, I'm actually having a conversation with you right now, and I didn't really talk to you that much on the way here. So how was everything?
Yeah, this semester has been awesome. I've done a lot of great things over at University of Hartford. The main thing is I've been part of their sports network in their television department called SDN. Shout out to all you guys. Yeah, it's been great. I've been writing stories for them for their show, I've been doing voiceovers, I've been doing writing on their website as well. So I've really done a lot there. I've also done some behind-the-scene work for our University of Hartford as well because I had a class on it, and it's been really good to learn the behind-the-scenes stuff. Shout out Chris, who's our behind-the-scenes guy. So I've been working a lot with that. So just to understand a different aspect of what goes on between sports production and how that works. So it's been really fun, and I've had a great time, and I can't wait to see what the next semester is going to hold.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, again, we love seeing people that we grew up with just do stuff like that. Like I remember we were the inspiration. You know, this show from the ground up made you and myself know exactly what we wanted to do, and we went for it. But yeah, for me, again, Arizona State, Cronkite. Shout out everyone at Cronkite. It's amazing. I never thought that it would be this smooth of a transition into Arizona State, but it's amazing. Blaze Radio, I'm a part of Blaze Radio. We do a lot of stuff in terms of PXP, play-by-play. We have shows over there, show anchoring, even sports writing for Blaze. We have Blaze Writing as well. So shout out everyone in Blaze. I'm super excited for next semester. Again, we also have Inferno Intel, which is also a part of Cronkite as well. We have 3 things. We have the Cronkite Sports Bureau, and then we have Inferno Intel and Blaze Radio. Next semester, I'll be a part of Blaze Radio and Inferno Intel. So you might be seeing a lot of show hosting, what I'm doing here, be for Inferno, and a lot of my play-by-play announcing for Blaze. So we're gonna a little bit of an organization there for what I want to do in terms of the programs at ASU. I am a part of Up on Deck. Shout out Jack Bartlett. Next semester, the Up on Deck podcast is going to be insane. Jeffrey Hinkle, he graduated. Congratulations. And congratulations to Jake Brown as well. And our producer, it's not Chris, but it's Ben Yates, Mr. Yates. Yeah, so again, I just want to say that it's been a year. You know, I was in Zion Ponderosa for the summertime, and then I remember over the time of me being in Utah, I kind of wondered to myself, I'm like, you know, I miss having a show. Like, when am I going to have a next show again?
Yeah,
when am I going to have a podcast?
I miss that too.
You always get that thought of like, when am I going to be able to speak in front of the camera again? You know, and so I've been using my phone to do that instead.
Right.
So, and then I transferred over and I drove from Utah to Phoenix, and that's where I live now, Phoenix, and now I go to Cronkite, go to school there, pretty much doing what you're doing, behind the scenes, video producing, all that stuff. So I really think that, I think that us coming back to this was such a good idea. But anyway, I'm gonna get to a story time.
It's story time, folks.
It's story time. So I want to talk about the Dodger game. I remember we mentioned this earlier. Yeah, so as you know, I drove from Phoenix to Los Angeles, and I saw the Dodgers postseason in LA. And so I wanted to see because I wanted to see Kershaw. You guys know me. I got the Kershaw jersey. Huge Kershaw fan. I finally got to see Kershaw pitch 1 inning with 1 out. I've never been upset at a ball game in my entire life. I actually got emotional. I'm going to sit here on the show and say I got emotional. That was actually a nightmare. I was so mad. And so I drive to LA. I get to LA, right? And so as I get to LA, I go to the ocean. I do LA things, you know, that any LA tourist would do. And then I head over to Dodger Stadium to watch some Dodger baseball. So as as I roll up to Dodger Stadium, I'm so excited. I got my Kershaw jersey on, got my Dodger hat on. This is my second time at Dodger Stadium. Last time I went was 8th grade. I finally see Kershaw play. I go there, atmosphere is alive, fireworks going off. It's really happening. So the Diamondbacks played the Dodgers. Now, why? Because I lived in Phoenix. Why didn't I just stay in Arizona to see the Diamondbacks? Well, if I could have done that. However, I would have not seen Kershaw. Kershaw was only going to pitch Game 1, which is in LA, and it happened to be against the Diamondbacks, who are literally right next door to my apartment. So yeah, I see Kershaw. He gets on the mound. He pitches. When I saw that first strike of the game, like he threw a perfect strike, I'm like, all right, cool. Kershaw's gonna have a good game, like always, you know. And then it hits me. All right, gives up a run, gives up 2 runs, gives up 3 runs. All right, this isn't going well. Then it hits me. I'm like, this has just always been Kershaw in the playoffs. He does this all the time in the playoffs. I know exactly what's gonna happen. He's gonna choke the playoffs, and the Dodgers are gonna get swept. Because right when Kershaw gave up all these runs, I completely had no faith in him anymore. I'm like, I give up. Like, he's going to give up all the runs. They're going to get swept. It's going to be a nightmare. So, and that's exactly what happens. They get swept. I remember I left the game around like the 8th inning, and I just drove back to Ontario, California, and I just cried because that was just devastating. So, what's your thoughts on that? Like, I feel like what was going on in your mind? Because I know we were talking when I was at the game, and I was really upset.
Well, I definitely knew that you were going to the game. So I was watching the game, you know, downstairs on my TV, watching the game, and trying to like get into it and enjoy it and all that. But then it was just a nightmare, as you said, because Kershaw was just pitching and he was terrible, and he was giving up home runs and home runs. I think Gabriel Moreno hit one, and he hit one, that was like, oh boy, he's going to get crushed, and he did.
He only pitched 1 out and got taken out in the first inning, and I was like, I saw Emmett Sheehan. They brought in Emmett Sheehan, so that's cool. And fun fact about Emmett Sheehan, he actually played. He grew up in Connecticut, went to Boston College, played in the indie ball with the New Britain Bees. Now he's on the Dodgers. Yeah. So seeing Emmett Sheehan, and he also looks like me. Seeing Emmett Sheehan was still just as good because he is a good pitcher.
He is. Shout out Connecticut native Emmett Sheehan.
Yeah, he is really good. So, yeah. So seeing him pitch, that was cool. But you know what? You hurt your rotation. Sheehan, you could have saved him for another game. I think if they did not have that Kershaw, I feel like if they did not have that Kershaw moment where all things were going bad and they saved Sheehan for the next game, I think they at least could have won 1 game. Sheehan should not have replaced Kershaw. Sheehan should have played another game. Cool, I saw him, but Sheehan was also giving up hits.
And they also gave up they put in a lot of pitchers in that game. Like, you're going to just like wear everyone out because of the amount of pitchers that you use to like, you know, in the game, and it's crazy. I mean, like, Kershaw not even completing an inning. Like, you need him to complete 5. You don't need him to do 7. Just do 5, and then you'll be fine. But not even a whole inning, 1 out. Oh boy.
And I mentioned this on the Up on Deck podcast. He says Dave Roberts always says, "Oh, he feels good. Oh, he feels good." All right, he feels good. Every single time Dave Roberts says he feels good before a game, they do terrible. Oh yeah, Kershaw, he's off the injured list. He's finally good. He feels really good. Kershaw giving that speech before the game. Yeah, I feel really good. You know, my arm. No, you don't feel good. Get out of the game. You really just ruined a kid's life. You really just ruined a kid's childhood dream of watching you pitch. So, yeah, that's devastating to see. I went back to Phoenix and, oh man, never heard the end of it. Literally, I'd wake up in the morning, right? I look at the nice view, and I'd see snakes alive on every single building. I literally wake up every day outside of my apartment, snakes alive. The snakes are hot. Jacob Jones, your speech on the pool, on the apartment rooftop. Don't let the snakes get hot. Like, look, look, I get it. You're a Diamondbacks fan, but man, that was all I heard at Arizona State. It was just snakes alive. Don't let the snakes get hot. Oh my, man, I just did not like it. And then Dodgers come to AZ and get rocked over there as well. So, but it was cool the fact that the World Series was literally being played in my backyard. I mean, it was literally like a 2-minute walk to the stadium.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you got to like see everything that was going on, and didn't you meet some people there? Like
Bob Menery.
Yeah.
Shout out Bob Menery. He's a great guy. I know I talk about him on the podcast. I talk about him on the Up on Deck podcast, but I'll talk about it here. Yeah, Bob Menery, great guy. I don't know. I just saw him walking, and I was like, "Oh, what's up?" And I was talking to him for a bit. I don't think he really cared about who's winning. I think he was betting money on the Diamondbacks to win, in which they did. Yeah, great guy. Bob Menery, met him. But it's popping. When World Series goes on in Phoenix, it's really happening, and it was really a pleasure. I mean, I wasn't doing it, but I was working with kids that had the opportunity to actually do camera work in front of the World Series. Like, if you were a part of Sports Cronkite, you can be at the stadium doing reports and stuff for ASU and for Cronkite itself. So that was really good. I wasn't able to do that, but it's cool to see that there's friends of mine that were doing coverage on the World Series for Cronkite. So that was amazing.
Yeah, that was awesome. And then another thing that you did this semester was you covered Arizona Fall League. And you covered some of the young prospects.
I did not cover Arizona Fall League. My friends Jeffrey Hinkle did and all that stuff because they were part of the Cronkite Bureauship. I'm not part of the Cronkite Bureauship. I will be in senior year. But yeah, again, I was going to a lot of Arizona Fall League games, and I was doing a lot of like player reports, like on Kevin Alcantara and all these other players on the AFL as well. So yeah, it's cool because there's sports happening all the time in Arizona. When the Arizona Fall League's there, you get to go to all the stadiums. I went to Goodyear for that. But yeah, again, Phoenix is a great place. A bit, I would say it's very hot over there, but other than that, I think I got used to it, and now I don't like the cold now that I'm back in Connecticut. But overall, what a year.
Yeah, definitely.
What a year it was. I mean, for you and me, and I'm very excited to know what's going to be going on next year. I really don't know if we're going to be back at the studio anymore after this.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because
we'll see.
I don't know when I'm going to be back. However, again, and I'm very confident in saying this, you will definitely see me on Inferno Intel and Blaze next semester. It's going to be awesome. Up on Deck, me, Jack Bartlett, and producer Ben Yates. We're going to be in the studio at Cronkite. We should be doing our shows Wednesdays at 5. That will be our time. I'm not too sure yet, but stay tuned to that. And as for Mickey's work, I know you have a Twitter and I have my Twitter. You can catch him as well. Mickey, tell me like what you're excited for next semester.
What I'm excited for next semester is continuing to do more work for SDN, hopefully do more voiceovers and do some cam work for them. I think it'll be fun.
Making packages?
Yeah, making packages, making some other stuff. That'll be great. Yeah, just more writing stuff. You can catch my writing at sdn.com and also on the Hartford Informer. Do both those stuff. And yeah, it'll be continuing to be great.
So before we guys let you go, I do want to say that it's been a pleasure to yet again come back on here again. I remember the final sports grind that we had. That was amazing. And I want to say that I think this will be just as good. I'm going to try and make some edits as well on TikTok and stuff. So I'm excited to see where we're both going in the future. And I am more of a pleasure that I'm back in the studio here to definitely not only work for Spectrum and, really just put ourselves out there again once last time. But yeah, with that being said.
Hold on, we're going to hold it right there. I want to make one more thing. I want to give one huge shout out to our producer, Chris. Chris has been amazing. He's done every single show since we started this back in early 2020. We did not give him the proper credit on it on the finale because we were so into it. So I want to make sure that this show, we actually give him credit for all the work because we really appreciate all the work that he's done over the years, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah,
so,
shout out
Chris.
Shout out Chris. I mean, even him too. Like, I mean, we are all getting experience, and still, like, yeah, we're in college, yeah, we're adults. We should be already in our little professions and stuff, but this is where it started. And I think definitely for Chris and definitely for you, we're gonna remember this knowing that like we came from here. Because I'm realistically doing this to really shout out Blaze and to put what I'm working for on the spot back here, and you're doing the same, and that's for Chris. And I think this is a great experience. And with that being said, I want to say that I will always remember this studio no matter where we both are in our lives, whether I'm in Cronkite or whatever. This is where I started, and I always want to make an impression, and I always want to inspire other people to do the same thing. Doesn't matter where you start, as long as you start somewhere. I was in Danbury working for the Sports Buzz with Scott. I know his name still. And then I brought it over to here to work for Mark in inspection. So I want to say thank you guys for watching, not the final, but the specialty show for the Sports Grind. With that being said, my name is Tyler Wargo.
And I'm Mickey Parrella.
Thank you guys for watching the Sports Grind, the specialty show. And yeah. Bye.
Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through?